Yeah.
And I think the alcohol melts away that fat just like soap and water
Oh,
does.
that's good to know.
And because, yeah, somebody told me, it said, you know, the uh, alcohol, doesn't, antibacterial wipes don't kill viruses, they kill bacteria.
Yeah.
But in this case, this bacteria is susceptible to dying quickly once it's been washed. So I guess alcohol or peroxide will dissolve that fat as easily or almost as easily as water and soap.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about touching your face. That whole issue always baffles me. They talk about that. Do not touch your face. But if you've been sequestered, quarantined, whatever else into your house for a long time, does it really matter if you touch your face or not? If you're the only one who's in the house?
I don't think so.
No.
It's just a habit.
Well, I know it's important when you're in the grocery store or whatever else that you don't do things like that. But
And that's
I think it would be desirable not to touch your face. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
In the grocery store with my mask on, all of a sudden my nose is itching, my
Every time.
eyes.
Every time.
totally always happens.
But with the mask, it's really good because if you've got the mask on, as your hand goes up towards your face, you always remember, don't
Right.
touch your face. So you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you put your hand under the mask and. But I thought it was interesting in the paper the other day, middle of the week, they had a thing about it's not a good idea to wear gloves.
I heard the same thing.
Well, I wonder, it's just
Yeah, I
disgusting.
stopped wearing mine.
And why is that particularly?
Because the gloves are gonna, unless you can have enough, you can throw them. I mean, a doctor would change gloves every time he changed rooms. You know, he comes out of a patient's room, throws those and then puts on clean. Are you gonna go to the produce section and use gloves and then take them off when you go to the meat section or the
No,
canned
otherwise
goods?
you're just going to have this stuff on the exterior of your gloves.
I
Right,
handle
and
my
then-
meat by my hands all the time.
And you're not going to take them off properly, and so you might as well just carry hand sanitizer and do that 3 or 4 times as you walk through the store.
Yeah, yeah.
Or when
I
you
like
walk
those-
out the store,
What?
before you get in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, you could even do it multiple times while you're in the store.
I like
you
the
can-
English stuff where they just have paper towels with a couple of the spray things there. And when I'm going through, before I go through the grocery store, I just spray that really wet and wipe my hands continuously and wipe everything else I come in contact with that. I don't know how effective it is or whatever else, but then when I get back to the car, that's when I get out the hand sanitizer. But I usually use, now that they've shown that they're going to be consistently having the sanitizer right there, I like to just have a big couple of paper towels sort of loaded with it.
I can't find the hand sanitizer to buy. Every time I go to the store, I look and it's always empty.
You can
No.
find it at Sam's now.
CVS
really?
had some yesterday or day before. I bought a big bottle. I also got a big bottle of the antibacterial soap refill thing, which I was about to run out of.
I'm
Yeah.
been looking for isopropyl alcohol and can't find that.
That's also coming back on the market again. And I also saw some of that, I think, at CVS.
CVS, okay.
When I go to the wound appointments, it's very interesting to see how they do the vinyl gloves. It's just what you said, Steve. They do a little something with them, then they take them off, they put a new set on, they do a little something, they take them off, they put a new set. They must go through 100 during the time of the appointment that I'm there. It's just amazing to see.
Wow.
The last time I had a Botox shot in April. I can't remember. I think the last week in April. And the doctor was a new doctor I hadn't seen before. He didn't have gloves on, but he hand sanitized with hand sanitizer at least 5 times while he was in there with me. I mean, he picked up a pen and then hand sanitizer. He touched the equipment and he sanitized, and it was pretty amazing.
Steve, for some reason, I don't know why, but I thought you said you'd stop taking the Botox shots.
I did. I said that. And then I had my annual eye exam with my regular ophthalmologist to make sure I didn't have any, trouble, to check my my prescription, etc. And it's being upgraded by the host. Are you, Perry? Are you upgrading this?
Why the hell not? We moved the 40-minute limit on your group meeting. Okay, I said love it, and we got it, whatever that means. So
Okay,
apparently we
you're
have
going to
time.
be charged.
I'm
Tell
sorry.
us, and we'll send you donations to contribute.
Oh, well, do go ahead, whatever.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that
I'll
you.
take it.
Is it $100 a minute? Is that right?
Absolutely, yes, yes. Pick a number.
So anyway,
Pledge
I was-
something.
I was complaining to my doctor that without the Botox that I was having problems, and he said, "Well, I've got a really good a friend, actually a college buddy or something, who's works at Baptist eye surgeons, and who does Botox, and does it differently than the neurologist." And so I went to see him, and he, instead of shooting me up here above my eyebrow and below right on my cheekbone, which was very painful. I mean, those hitting on the bone was very unpleasant. I mean, it wasn't excruciating, but it was just unpleasant. This guy did it in my eyelid here in the soft.
Wow.
And my first thought was, yikes, think of anybody sticking me in the eye is not a pleasant thought,
Mhm.
but this was great. I didn't feel a thing. And it was very easy.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
And-
My Apple
and-
Watch is telling me I must stand, so forgive me, I'll stand for a while.
Okay. So at first I didn't think it was all that effective, but now that I sort of do, I think it's done a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So you are having it. Yeah. When you stopped, had you started getting the twitching things again and that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, you look good.
Look
Yeah.
great.
The smile's looking good too.
Perry's gone, but we can still see, we can see what he's doing.
He's walking.
Uh-huh.
He's got one of those
At this
watches.
stage, if I'm still walking, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It means it's still early evening.
That's right. I'll drink to that, Frank.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Drink, smoke. Perry, as
Oh,
Perry
there
told
you
you-
go, Larry.
Perry told you, Perry's got a new friend.
He
What?
does.
And
What's-
am I supposed to now reveal this on Zoom to the world,
Oh
Frank?
no, well, no, just say you have a new friend. That's all
I
you
have
need
a new
to know.
friend.
Okay.
Actually,
Good.
you could just say you've gotten to know one of your relatives better. Or that make
Or I could not say anything other than I have a new friend, Frank, and I wouldn't reveal any other information,
You're
Frank.
right.
But
That's
of course, now we're all dying to know more information.
no, it's,
No,
Well,
I'm-
more
but I-
information is that my new friend has, for about the last 5 years, decided that before he retired, he wanted to make sure that he had acquired the skill to supply his need for cannabis by growing it at home. And
Wow.
he has perfected that art over the last 5 years and has now said to me, "Oh, you like it too? Well, I'll tell you what, you can have it. You won't have to pay for it."
Wow.
Wow, nice.
That's
well,
great.
I just want to apologize for being indiscreet. I certainly did not mean to do that. And
I understand. You're a journalist. I thought you would know this shit, man.
But I thought no, but I was perfectly willing to stop that. Whatever else, just that simply that you'd gotten to know your.
Well, thank you for bringing up and giving me something interesting to talk about within the group. You know, this is what has happened to me within the last coronavirus period.
Yeah. No, I just,
Inquiring minds want to know.
I thought it was cool, and I think you have a smile on your face.
I do. I think it's an illegal smile, according to John Prine.
Larry, what did you say?
I said inquiring minds like to know.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Do you guys know John Prine? P-R-I-N-E.
I know the name.
We did maybe.
And he died not long ago. Look up Illegal Smile on YouTube or somewhere and listen to it. Illegal Smile. It basically is about getting, having the smile on my face because your stone.
Oh,
So I discovered that, and I thought, well, this is a man after my own heart. You don't have to do the look it up right now, guys. You're welcome.
no,
to.
my watch beeped at me, but it's a CNN news report.
And has Trump resigned yet?
No,
Oh shit. Well, there
Sorry.
you go.
that's not likely to happen.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought he was going to say, I just can't do this anymore. I'm going back to playing golf.
Oh God, there was some report the other
I'd
day.
forgive him entirely if he'd do that, for God's sake. Just leave.
And there was some report about how many $700,000 or $900,000 that his properties have earned from the taxpayer. We're
I
us
saw that
paying
too, yeah.
for his Secret Service agents to spend the night at Mar-a-Lago or one of his hotels at $365 a night. It's
And
just
if
atrocious.
I believe all the email I get, unless I contribute some money to Joe Biden, that cocksucker, Donald Trump, is going to win. Everybody's telling me I need to contribute money to Joe Biden. I'm sorry, I ain't doing that, but I will vote for the sucker.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I contribute to some of those people, and then Nancy Pelosi sends me an email saying, we need your
Look at Tim.
support right now, and please send us $15. And you say, okay, I'm going to give you $15, and you get there, and the smallest amount that's listed for you to check is $25. And then when you agree to send $25, then they want a tip.
Oh, Jesus.
It's probably a processing fee because when you use PayPal or something, they get charged a $3 fee or something like that.
Well, I'm all for our winning this election, but I'm afraid if it requires my paying for it, we may not get there.
The other day, I have this friend from years ago that I knew in Chicago and San Francisco, and we've sort of reconnected in recent years. And he's a difficult person. He has lots of emotional issues. And when we get on the phone, like I like to communicate with him by email, because when we get on the phone, he gets very emotional, and he's super conservative and super loving of, he used to be liberal, but now he's conservative, loves Trump. So the other day we got on the phone and I said, the condition is we do not discuss politics. I mean, this is a long-standing thing. We don't discuss politics if we're on the phone. So in an email before that, a really nice email, he had agreed, we won't discuss politics. So I call him up the other day. Immediately he launches into, if you would just watch Tucker Carlson, you would realize that the deep state is out to get Trump. I said, Bill, stop talking about politics or I'm going to hang up. He kept going. I just hung up. But he's obviously really distressed and is worried that Trump is going to lose. But the implication behind the things he was saying was that if Trump does lose, then a lot of those people are going to rise up and do violence and resist
mow
any
him
change
down.
because they're not going to believe that it really is legitimate and all that stuff.
There's an article in either the Washington Post or the New York Times to the effect that what happens if Trump refuses to accept the results, or Trump supporters refuse to accept the results of the election. I don't remember which one it is, but it's along that line.
Yeah.
And what did they say?
That doom is in the future.
Maybe
That's what they always say,
Maybe we can mow them down and won't have to deal with them anymore.
Yeah, but Trump
We'd have to get guns.
the
David.
mowers.
We
Well,
mow
not
them
us,
down
the
with
army.
words, and they come with guns, as Tim says.
The only way I could mow them down is with my actual lawnmower.
Well, I was talking about the government mowing them down, like the armed forces mowing them down,
Yes.
not us.
I know you were, but who's in charge of those armed forces?
Well,
Donald Trump.
hopefully generals will, just accept the election.
So you would favor a coup? Is that correct, Larry?
Not a coup, just
No,
doing their
Just a sort of
obligation.
coup, a nice little coup. A coochie coup.
And actually, of course, Trump will be president from December 15th or whatever it is until January 15th. And he'll still be in charge.
Everybody's pardoned.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Steve, did you send in your Trump survey?
No, I looked at, well, actually, did I tell you I got one?
Yeah.
Well, we got one, but it was to Terry. I
You
would have
told me
sent
was
it,
Terry, yeah,
but it
yeah.
was addressed to Terry and he didn't want to be
You're
bothered.
going
So,
after the most vulnerable.
yeah.
They think they can
Our
turn.
librarians, I hear, are on their calendar.
That's right.
Who sent this Trump survey out?
The Republican National Committee.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it had a lot of multiple choice questions, you know, all of which were none of the above, you know.
Let's put it this way: if you answered it in your heart or wrote whatever, they would have tossed it immediately. They wouldn't have cared. So I was discussing with Steve: is there some sort of halfway thing that if you give them one or two questions, they might listen to a couple of others or something like that. But I was hoping just to maybe charge them 45 cents by sending it empty with the. But it wasn't. But it didn't have a self-addressed. It didn't have a automatic pay on the postage. So you had to pay the postage. So I thought you can't even screw them that way. Did that make any sense?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. When I used to get those surveys from the Republican Party and they had a self-addressed envelope, I stuffed the envelope to make it over an ounce, so they'd have to pay even more.
I love it. That's hilarious. But
You are part of the deep state.
I want to sink them as deep as I can.
you put a couple of small pieces of plutonium in there just to make sure that it would weight down, and maybe have some other effects as well.
Guys, before the Zoom gods come down on us and tell us we got to leave, I want to say thank you for spending the time. I enjoyed this and I'd like us to do it sometime periodically.
Okay.
Yeah, I would too.
It was fun.
Maybe next time Steve will let me get to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
doubt
we
it.
should vote on that, Terry. Although if we got to vote, I'd vote to let you talk. So
Terry said the same thing the last time we sat on your porch.
yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Terry, say something important.
Something
or
important.
or intent, or whatever you want to say.
Say good night, Terry.
Good night, Terry.
Got it right. See you guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. It was nice talking.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked